back to the Run GMC podcast. I am blessed to have with me today Kyle Meade. Kyle is a golfer and a really damn good golfer. Are you certified professionally, or
for teaching? I was to get your pro card in the terms of playing, you have to go through Q school and qualify through the Corn Ferry Tour and everything else. That's a whole different process.
Okay. And I know, so when you go to UNLV has like a program like that. Do you get your pro card from UNLV, or you get your coaching card?
Yeah, those guys going through the PGM program are coming out with their PGA teaching card. So
Okay.
It means they're the top of the line teachers and coaches, and that's take that for what it is. But yeah, the PGM program, they come out of there as PGA certified teaching professional.
Okay. Yeah. So is that the same thing that you have, or you have something slightly different?
Nope, I never went through the PGM program. I was certified through Callaway for a little while I was at Top Golf. I've been around golf for 20 years, so I've kind of certified myself.
Definitely.
No, all jokingly aside, man, I've been around the game a long time, and I've worked with some really good guys, and I still to this day am blessed to work with some really talented people in the industry. So coaching was natural for me. So once I got my Callaway certification, it just allowed me to tell people that, I was certified to give them a lesson and charge them for it.
Okay. get your money worth, right?
That's right.
No, that's awesome. Right. That's awesome. So my first question, when I wanted to jump in, because I was like, there's a whole bunch of different ways I can go with this. But we're going to put ourselves at TPC Las Vegas, 18th hole. You're up one shot. What is the intensity like on the tee box?
I don't know, man. That to me, it's hard to differentiate, one hole to one hole sometimes. I mean, you do have to play 18 single games in a game of golf. That's true. Every shot matters. But on the 18th hole, you kind of, what led you up to there? And if we're talking my reality, that was my reality in the championship I won, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had just missed a short birdie. The wheels had just come off, and it wasn't that I felt pressure from competition. It was that, I was letting the wheels fall off. So on that particular tee box, I was more pissed. Honestly, I felt like I should have been up by 3. I was up by 1. I had 2 3-putts, and the driver wasn't the problem. So I knew I honestly knew if I got up there and ripped one down the fairway, it was a wrap. And that's what I did. And then, this dude, he just put it on me, bro. And it's my mentality never changes. I feel like I have what it takes to win, and that's why I compete. So when I'm not winning or I'm not towards the top, I'm usually pissed off, bro. I play with a little bit of fire in me. So I believe I should have been there. I believe I should have won. But I believe I should have won by, honestly, 5 or 6 strokes. One was not enough. I should have at least won by 3, let alone the one I won.
Okay. I'm glad I was able to hear that. I figured it would be an accumulation, like getting to the 18th hole, you're already in your groove and everything. But we're gonna touch on like your preparation and stuff at the end. But what I want to know is, you've been golfing for 20 years, you said. Who got into golf in the first place?
I mean, you're a local boy, born and raised in Vegas. I was born on the east side, man, Winterwood and Sahara. So I grew up on Desert Rose Golf Course. That was my backyard. So as a kid, you rode your bike, you did what you did, but this was pre-technology days. We had to figure out a lot of things to do, and there was an old set of clubs in the shed, and in my backyard, I started swinging one day, and I've always been kind of an athlete. So when I swung the club, it kind of just made sense immediately. I actually started out left-handed, and I learned to golf left-handed. And then when I got my first coach at Desert Rose, we ended up switching me to righty, and I kind of stuck with it. But it kind of just from there, man, I started right there at Desert Rose, and in my neighborhood backyard, would hop the fence. I'd have to go pick the ditch, go get my own balls, and that's how I afforded to hit range balls, man. Is those guys out there showed me a lot of love as a kid. And they made it so I could go out there and hit range balls, but I had to go put in my work to do it.
Wow. So what were you doing specifically to get the range balls?
The ditch. So the wash runs through the whole course. So the
Yeah.
way that the driving range goes is on both sides of the driving range was a huge wash. Well, back in the day, it all used to be tall, fescue grass and just crap, bro. It was where the wash was.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go in there and literally with a bucket pick out the balls. And once I had a full bucket, I go back, rinse them off, set them down on the driving range, hit them, and then go pick another bucket, bro. And I had to go get my own ball.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's some disgusting shit though, because I know that wash you're talking about. And you
Hey,
said it
buddy.
used to be grass?
Yeah. There was some grass in there. There was a lot of dirt, a lot of mud, but there was some grass in there. But honestly, I was blessed that those guys would even allow me to do that. And there was times where the machine would be broken. So you could push start and stop real quick on the machine and it would dump out 10 balls at a time, but only charge you for one. And they knew the system, and I get a $5 card. It would last me 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So the guys, they were always good to me out there, man. But it was a neighborhood course. You know what I mean? It barely was in good shape at ever. You know what I mean? It just was, It was a place where I was able to go out and just learn how to play. And luckily enough, there were some old timers around there that worked the course that allowed me to do that.
No, that's awesome, man. So when did golf change from being like a hobby to like I'm ready to compete in golf?
You know what's crazy is buddy is in my freshman year of high school, I didn't even play because I thought it was too dorky, right? I was a football player. I didn't want to be on the golf team. In hindsight, I really wish, I would have focused more in high school because I think I would have been somewhere by now. I think I could have got a scholarship. I mean, I ended up being, better than most people and probably even myself thought I could be. And I think the changing point was probably in my early 20s, man, 2021, probably 21-ish. I started working in the nightlife industry and my days got back to me. I got my days back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got my days back, I started getting just back into my groove of golf. And I went from a guy that was, a low 80s guy, high 90s to real quick, I was shooting even par. And by real quick, I mean, within a year, you know what I mean? I was a guy that could shoot a 75 or a guy that could shoot a 85. You know what I mean? My handicap was about a 7. And then long story short, bro, I decided I wanted to pursue the dream. So in my early 20s, I decided to pursue the dream. And then you may or may not know, my mom passed away. And that kind of derailed the dream. You know what I mean? I was 24 years old and that happened. And I was right in the ticking point of where I thought was thinking of the next step, sponsors. What do I need to do? Tournaments, this, that. I had just started to figure that out, but I was 24 and I was young. So I got derailed for a little while. You know what I mean? I mean, the truth of the matter is I'm 32 now. And, in between that span of 24 to now, my twin brother passed away too. So this journey of mine, bro, started, man, I feel like it was almost 10 years ago now that I got to, and it's been a slow turning, rebounding process 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? But I'm at a point now where I'm better than I've ever been. And that's why I haven't given up, is because as many times as I've been derailed and been kind of taken off my dream, is I still have I'm still young, man. I'm still competing and I have the ability to. So I'm going to give my shot the next, I got a couple more years left in me to make this dream come true. And I'm right there. I'm one step away.
I can picture you like a fucking 45-year-old Rocco Mediate battling on whoever the next up and coming superstar is, like the 2008 US Open, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not even, I don't even have to be in my 40s, bro. I mean, I'm really as close as in the next couple years, you know what I mean? But yeah,
For sure.
I wouldn't still believe in the dream and still be chasing and doing what I'm doing if I didn't think it was still my reality, right? So it's still something I believe is a dream I can make come true. And that's why I've been doing it since I was a kid. It's not a job for me. It's something I love doing. So it's just, why stop when I'm right there?
That's the key, man. That's the key. And I, like you had mentioned in there, those setbacks that you had. Golf is such a psychological game. How did your brain like process everything was going on, and how did that affect your golf game? Did you have to just completely set it aside, or?
Yeah, man. I mean, the truth be told, bro, the only reason I give that little bit of information about my mom and brother is because, yeah, mentally, bro, I was I tell people all the time, I was alive, but I wasn't living. You know what I mean? And golf has always been part of my life, bro. And not only was maybe I was golfing, maybe I was hitting balls. I don't know. I don't really remember. You know what I mean? There was a stretch of 9 months to a year where I promise you I couldn't even tell you, anything about that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that's what got me back is my biggest supporters were always them. You know what I mean? And especially my twin brother, man. That was, a few years later after my mom. But my twin brother was my absolute number one fan and believed in me before I even believed in myself. So getting back on the train after that kind of, disaster, if you will, or chunk of my life that happened, it just motivated me more. Because now it's I'm not just doing it for me. I live for two. So everything I do is times two. You know what I mean? It's not just a dream of mine. It's a dream that he believed in too. So, as much as it took me off, and that kind of just gets me back to being where I am today, 32, still chasing, still getting with these young bucks, is that I have it, and I know I do, and I have for a long time. It's just at the end of the day, bro, in this part of, and we can get into this conversation later, maybe is golf has always been a rich white man sport. And luckily enough, it's the man part is now becoming a man and woman. The white is more diverse. It's becoming more of a diverse game. But the thing that hasn't changed is golf is still a rich sport. And it's really hard to make it, with gloves and balls and equipment and the round itself and practice balls and this. Bro, it's all of its money. Golf is all a money game. And so it's really hard to get to that next level without the funding behind you.
No, definitely. So where does that funding come from in making that next step? Because, I've seen your journey, I guess, for the last 4 years and everything that you've done. And I've seen you post like Instagram posts with like sponsors and stuff. But like, what is that next jump that you have to make in your career?
I mean, it's the monetary value to live off of, right? So I've been blessed, man. I've had people, and that have given me little sponsorships, food for a couple years. BLT, they were a meal prep company that gave me food for 2 years. I mean, it was fantastic. I have had, I've had people give me, pay for my tournaments, pay for clubs, things of that nature. I have had some help, but the reality is, if you're someone like myself, I have bills, I have a wife, I have a house, I have, you know what I mean? You have to have somebody give you some sort of compensation for that time, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's time's worth something, whether Definitely. You're chasing a dream or not. That's the hardest part is you have to get people to realize, and me, the problem is I don't have the accolades. I wasn't a national athlete at the D1 college. I didn't play the high school route. I started working at a young age, and I kept working and chasing a dream on the side. Well, the only way to really fulfill that dream and make it real is if somebody's willing to buy into your dream and say, you know what, I believe in you. What do you need? And, the breakdown is whatever it is your life is, right? If I said I needed a minimum of 40, 50 grand a year to live off of, well, that's just the base. Now you need another minimum of 50 grand to pay for the tournaments, the travel, the food, the clubs, the training, the coaches, the this, the this. I mean, it never stops, buddy. So finding the sponsors, you tell me, buddy. Hopefully this helps. I don't know.
No, for sure. No. But it does. It does. I guess I should have framed it better. What tournaments produce like the best financial return? Like.
So me, I mean, right now at the amateur level, there is none, bro. There's no monetary. You're literally doing it to say, hey, look, I'm good enough to get to the next level, right? So the next level is like mini tours. So mini tours are what gets you. Now you're in the Q school range. And the Q school range is what you qualify to get into the Corn Ferry tours. Now there's always little leaps and bounds, right? You can get a sponsor's exemption into a weekend and have the weekend of your life, win or place or do something, and now you skipped all the steps, right? It's just not reality. I mean, I'm willing to do that, and I will, right? If the sponsor says this is what you're doing, you do what you do. But as an amateur, you're just trying to go out and place and be like me. This will be my first year of a fully competitive season. How good can I do my first year? Is it worth going another year? Is it worth going to the mini tours? To me, it's all about steps. Why, if I can't be the best at this step, why do I want to be the worst at this step, right? So as long as I can keep making my moves and my steps the way I have been and progressing the way I have, each step in golf, these guys, it's about, missing one putt on 18 that make them from, a PGA Tour guy to a guy that's on the Korn Ferry Tour, right? I mean, golf has one of the hardest scales to go from amateur to professional that there is. Like, you have to go through qualifiers. You have to have the best stretch of golf of your life to even get to the A League. And then in the A League, you have to be in the top 25 to get to the Pro League. And then in the Pro League, you have to maintain it to stay there. I mean, it's the grind is crazy, bro. And a lot of these guys are sleeping in their cars and doing it for years. And for me, like I said, I have a life, a wife, you know what I mean? I got a fur baby. I got things to pay for. So I don't have the that type of fight in me where I can go sleep in my car. You know what I mean? I gotta have the backing to help me stabilize my home to go do that.
100%. And I can only imagine. And you breaking it down right there puts in a better picture for me, because I think I'd seen a documentary once on I think what you were saying. Is it the Korn Ferry Tour, or how am I mispronouncing it?
It used to be the web.com. It was recently changed to the Korn Ferry Tour. That's their minor league tour.
Okay. And so it was definitely, I watched a documentary on those guys. And like you said, the grind is insane. And you have to play the best span of golf in your life to even get that shot. You said you played a full schedule this year. What does a full schedule look like?
Well, in the amateur ranks, it's about, by the end of this season this year. So now we've reached what's in Nevada. It's the Nevada State Championship this week, right? And I think I would have played 7 tournaments leading up to this. So to me, that's the most I've ever played in a year. So by the end of the year, I would have played probably in about 12 or 13 tournaments with I got a Western National Invitational coming up. I got the National Championship for another tour coming up. So I have some big tournaments coming up, and I got a couple of SNGA ones I'm going to finish out. So I'll be anywhere from 12 to 14, maybe 15 tournaments by the end of the year. That's a full schedule. That's what these guys on tour are traditionally playing, right? So for me, it's more about just getting the reps in. It's not about necessarily getting to a certain destination this year. It's just seeing if I could compete and how good could I compete, and doing it more than once a year. You know what I mean? I wasn't getting results.
Definitely.
So this was my first test of how good could I do this year? How far off am I really?
So where are you at right now? Where are you at so far leading into this tournament?
I did what I wanted to do. I qualified for the state championship, so I'm in the top 60 in the state. That's a given. Where I placed in that, who knows? Right now, I'm ranked in the top 10, which is cool. I've on another tour, the Golf Weekly Tour, I qualified for the national championship. I'm going to play in the Western Invitational. So I made the necessary moves that I needed to make. I wanted to see if I couldn't make none of these top tournaments in the amateur leagues, it was a wrap for me.
Yep.
Last week, I played in the Southern Nevada Championship. I was in the final group the last day. And, I don't know if I can say this on your podcast, but I shit the bed.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I played, it was 36-hole tournament. And for 34 holes, man, I was grinding it out. I was in the top 4, in the Southern Nevada Championship. And I shit the bed on the 16th hole on the second day, the last day. And, I went from what would have been a 3rd, 4th finish to a 10th finish. So that's what I mean. Golf is that's the crazy part, bro, is it's just not the physical ability. It's that mental, and it's mental for, golf. You're out there 4.5, 5 hours sometimes, and you got to, it's hard to watch other people play and yourself and be in the moment. You got to be in the moment. Let's say you have a good round. You're shooting 66 shots, 65 shots. Imagine being in the moment 65 times, right? Creating that focus 65 times. Like it's a lot, bro. And mentally, when it's 110 outside and you're doing that, it gets to you, bro. It gets to you.
So I guess a good question here would be, because I had just seen that the reason why I brought up that U.S. Open, the 2008 U.S. Open, is because I just watched that documentary again. And it was in there that, actually, no, it was the 2000 one that I watched when he won it the very first time when he was super young. The Masters, I believe.
Oh,
was it 2000? You wouldn't know?
Nah.
Shit. Okay.
If it wasn't Tiger, I don't know.
Yes, it was like 2000, right? And Tiger was like, it was super windy. And he's like, this is where I make the move. You know, when it's the conditions are the worst, you know, you can persevere through. Do you feel that way with the heat? Like, do you see people break down in this fucking scorching heat that we have here in Vegas?
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's all these guys know it's hot. You know what I mean? But it's more, you know, the wind and the heat out here. It's all the elements, and it's everybody has to play in it. So it's kind of one of those things that you know it's there. But you can't prepare for 110. You know what I mean? It's just hot. It's just you got to have a lot of hydration and just, you know, try to find shade whenever you can.
Yep.
It's you know, but it's those guys. If you took me down south and it was 95 with 90% humidity, oh, those guys have the upper hand for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's two. So that's part of the process too. Is the next step for me is doing a little bit more traveling tournaments. But again, that goes with the sponsorship. Without the money, you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my next goal is getting a little bit of backing and playing mini tours, which is that step right before Q School Corn Ferry, right? Is traveling and going to play in South Carolina and Tennessee and Arizona and in California and here. And just seeing not just the level of competition, but seeing actual physical layout, trees, humidity, dew, how the grass runs, like different grass. I mean, it's that's the crazy thing about golf is each round, every tournament is different. It changes every day, every tournament, and no matter what, you know what I mean. So it's golf is forever changing. So that's getting that process down is huge next step for me.
Okay. So you've played a shit ton of courses, I would imagine, in your life. Mm-hmm. What is the most beautiful favorite course that you've ever played on?
Man, that's tough, dude. The thing, I mean, honestly, bro, here, and this is a little corny for me, but you know, golf, that's one of the reasons I play is I get to see some of the most beautiful scenery in the world. So I can go with your real simple answer of Pebble Beach. Yeah, it was absolutely stunning. You know, Spanish Bay, that whole experience down at Pebble Beach. Yeah, it was great. But I played these courses in Bali, in Indonesia, and Hawaii, and that's a huge thing for me. When I travel, I play. You know what I mean? I played the Mayakoba down in Mexico, where they do the Mayakoba Classic. So I've got to play a lot of, you know, Florida, the best in Florida, the Summit here in Vegas, the Shadow Creek here in Vegas, the Southern Highlands here in Vegas, the Wolf Creek in Mesquite. Like, I've played a lot of amazing courses, bro. And for me, I really don't know if I can say I have a favorite. You know, another hidden gem for me is Sand Hollow in Hurricane, Utah. It's just outside of St. George.
Oh, I gotta check that one out.
It's the back nine of that course is one of the most visually stunning courses, but it's desert, and I think desert's pretty. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's super subjective. But yeah, dude, I've played so many beautiful courses. I'm super blessed in that sense. But that's a goal of mine too. Is in the future, you know, how many of the top 100 courses around the United States can a boy knock off? That's my next. I want to see how many of those I can knock off too.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So and that was a great answer too, because people. With that, the money you pay at the beginning, and you're like, Jesus Christ, why am I paying this much to play golf like this? But it's because it takes a shit ton of money to keep up those gorgeous views and the greenery in the desert. I'm with you. It's when I play Wolf Creek and Mesquite, and the way that just bright green grass runs right into that like red rock.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's insane. Right. A crazy story here, because it's why not fucking. My birthday last year, we went to go play Wolf Creek, and my girlfriend may have had a little too many, but you know how tough it is to drive golf carts out there.
Yeah.
Going down one of those fucking steep-ass hills, we were braking, and it was screeching, so she kind of, like, made a quick jerk. Our fucking golf cart flipped, dude, and it slid down a little. She got a bad bruise on her leg. Thank God that was it.
Who was on the bottom side?
She was. I landed on top of her. I landed on top of her, dude.
Bummer, buddy.
It was. That happened on hole 14. I think we played one more hole and we got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that course the undulation there, bro, is wild. You're really in the canyon. I mean, you're really in the canyon.
And I mean, I'm no like expert golfer. Like, some of those shots were tough to hit. It was beautiful to hit down into the canyons, but I remember there's like this par 3 where you have to
You got to
get.
hit straight up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay.
But
So longest drive you've ever had. What's the longest you ever driven a ball off the tee?
You know what? I just, I mean, so here, that's a loaded question, and here's why. It's because elements come into play, right?
Okay.
So, did you hit a cart path and roll 150 yards stuff? So my longest drive downhill downwind is I hit one last week, probably just shy of 400, probably 397-ish, 398-ish. I've hit a couple in that right just shy of that 400 range, but again, you're talking not necessarily downhill, but we're definitely downwind, right?
Yep.
If I step on it, man, I mean, I swing it at about 115-ish, 116-ish when I'm warmed up. So I can get the ball 320, 330 with a roll.
Now you're talking club speed there, right?
Yeah, my club speed is about 115, 116 on average. Yeah. If I step on it, I could probably get 118. If I'm bunting one out there, I'm probably around 110, 112. But my average is right around 115, 116 off the tee.
No
mile
shit.
Per hour.
So, okay, this comes along with, I think, taking that next step. And I've wanted to do it. Those indoor driving ranges track all that stuff for you, right?
Yeah, I got a simulator in my garage.
No shit.
Buddy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on blast right now. I need to reserve this like right now. I want to go one time and try that shit out.
You got it, buddy. Say less. Just Perfect. Whenever you want. I got it here.
Perfect. I'm holding you to it. If not, I'm going to fucking call your ass out.
Buddy, I'm a man of my word. It's nothing. I got you.
I love it. Okay, so couple more quick hitters. Sunday outfit. You're a swaggy ass golf player. What are we wearing on a Sunday going to win a tournament?
If I ever got to the big leagues, when I get to the big leagues,
yes,
I think my Sunday fit will probably usually always be green something, green and black, green and white. I'm not too sure. I love green, bro. So me wearing a swaggy green shirt, I got a lot of those. But I'm a fan of I like bright colors. I love like purples and whites. Whatever. I don't hate really. My lady loves me in the yellow. You know what I mean? It's I got that good tan skin, so I look good in them bright colors. You know what I mean?
I feel it.
But I switch it up, man. I got literally any color you could think of, from bright pink to dull ass brown and anything in between. I got it, bro. You know what I mean? So I got whatever. Every weekend's different too, and the swag changes in the weather, buddy. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't take the same summer swag down to the winter where I'm down south, or if I'm up north or to the west or the east. I change it up wherever I go. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, are you a long sleeve collared shirt, or would you wear like a windbreaker kind of jacket?
Nah. So that's the thing is on the course, the swag changes too. There's times where I like the little thin sweaters, the little with the collar out.
Yep.
Little cardigan look, not necessarily with the buttons, but just a little sweater over the collar, right? But if it's a cold day, bro, I get them little quarter zips. That's me all day. A little quarter zip, little thermofit quarter zip.
Yep.
The long sleeve collar, that's me all day. In the wintertime, for sure.
Okay. All right. So, couple more questions here. What is it like leading up to a tournament this week? Like, what is your preparation like? Let's say, Sunday was your last tournament this last Sunday. Did you play in one?
2 weeks ago.
Okay. So let's start it off from Monday this week. Like, what does a week look like leading up into, because it's a Thursday through Sunday tournament. You got 3 days of preparation. What does it look like?
For me, I'm a gym rat. So the up until, my practice round's tomorrow. So it's actually a 3-day tournament with a practice round. So 4 days of golf for a 3-day tournament, right? So treating it as that, meaning, that's still a full 4.5, 5 hours in the sun playing golf. So it's a golf day. I won't work out Wednesday. So I'll work out Monday, I'll work out Tuesday, and I'll work out hard. I'll do my traditional workouts, right? But Wednesday, I'll shut it down. Like today, I'll either go see a swing coach or my physical coach, and I'll just get dialed in with refining things. I don't need huge tweaks, nor do I want them. The day before I go my practice round, but I'll usually take a Wednesday or the day before my practice round. I'll take for stretching and going to see a specialist of some sort. But during the week too, I'll go see my chiropractor. I'll make sure I stretch. My routine kind of never changes. I'm always stretching. I'm always working out. So I'm always ready. It's weird. Like a fighter's always ready to fight. I'm always ready to play golf. This is what I do. I literally play and swing a golf club every day. So, but leading into a tournament, I don't want to bash around a bunch of balls. I don't want to. I didn't even swing a club Monday and Tuesday. I did practice for about an hour and a half, 2 hours today. But I'll still continue my short game. I'll continue putting, stuff like that. But I chill out on hitting golf balls leading in because I know this weekend I'm going to hit a lot of shots. So now tomorrow's practice round day. So I'll warm up in the morning. I'll have a legit range session before I go play. And then when I play, I'll format it. I won't play to score. I'll be hitting shots that I know I'm going to be needing the next few days. So for me, it's just about, keeping my normal routine of working out and eating right and sleeping and getting that thing. But I'll make sure too, my first tee off times, I'll schedule my practice round around those times. So those days leading up, I know exactly, what to expect at those times and just waking up and getting my body right and stuff like that.
Okay. I didn't know you scheduled your practice times.
Yeah, so like for this one, it's included because again, it's the state championship, so they give you a practice round with the tournament. So, and it's because those guys up north are flying down. It's state. Everyone in the state's playing one. So they really do a good job of giving you the practice round. For other 2-day, 3-day tournaments, stuff like that, you don't get that. So for me preparing for that next level, I know it's never one day, right? So in some instances, usually though, these tournaments are 2-3 days, things of that nature. And in the big leagues, it's 4 days, right? So I always play a practice round the day before my tournament. And if not the day before, the 2 days before, right? And then I'll take that day before off. So I'll flip-flop that around, but I'll always get a practice round in just because I want to see, even if I played the course 100 times, if I didn't play it that month, I don't know what the greens look like. I don't know what kind of shape the rough's in. I don't know, how fast the greens are when they mow it, anything. I don't know nothing about the course. I know the layout, but I don't know how it's playing. So I need to go out and see and touch and experience to see how the course is playing.
Okay. So I'm just learning about all this, like the whole preparation side of it, because like this summer I've played the most golf that I think I've ever played. And I'm like starting to find consistency in shots and like trusting my club and like how far I actually truly swing a 7-iron, as opposed to like when I played 2 years ago, I would completely tell you that my 7-iron was a 140 club and I was like stuck on that. But like, I'm finally starting to learn it all. When you're playing your practice round, are you with your caddy during that practice round?
So as an amateur, we don't get them, bro. We can have them, but the COVID is, it's changed everything. So we don't even, where I would normally have a caddy this weekend, I don't. So you're out there on your own. It's just you out there right now. Now, when I do have a caddy, a caddy for me at this level especially is I really just need someone to talk to. I'm pretty good at reading my own putts, and I'm such a feel player that if I don't feel it, I got to talk it out, though. So if I have someone to talk it out with, that's kind of what I need someone there for, is to talk it out with. And honestly, someone that I can yell at when I need to, right?
Yep.
But the caddies for me is more of a partner in crime at this stage. Getting to the next stage is different. The caddy needs to know yardages and slopes and everything in between. They don't get the little guns that tell them all that. But a caddy at this level, bro, is just someone there to kind of pat you on the back and help you along. That's the honest truth.
So let's just go back to the practice round. Do you have like a little notebook or something that you keep with it that you can like take notes and mark down what your thoughts are for that day? Or like you said, you're a field player. Is it all just mental notes you're taking?
Yeah, like for me, it's here in Vegas especially, Lakes Las Vegas is a little bit different because you're on the other side of the mountain. By the other side of the mountain, I mean Sunrise Mountain. When you play courses in Vegas, traditionally, they're all on the outskirts of town, most of them. So everything breaks towards the strip. So, no matter what, everything kind of so the lay of the land, I kind of know, right? So I don't always have like a little notebook, but that's why I want to go out and venture and play other places. Because even though I've played this weekend, I played Reflection Bay 1,000 times. There's not a shot out there I don't know, right? But that's one thing I was kind of going to tell you is like knowing your shots. I can hit an 8-iron 170. I can hit a 7-iron 170. I can hit a 6-iron 170. I can hit a 5-iron 170. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
It's what shot. Am I hitting it high? Am I hitting it low? Am I hitting it soft? Am I cutting it? Am I drawing it? What am I like? That for me is what I have to feel, right? Because even if I'm 185 out on day one, I might really be comfortable with my 5-iron that day, and I might try to feather something in light left to right, right? But then the next day, I might feel my draw might be working, so I might bring my 7-iron out and hit it as hard as I can, knowing it's going to land at 180 and roll out 185, right? So it all changes day for day for me with the club selection and preparing. So for me, I guess the notepad would only really be good for the green, knowing where to land it on the greens and where the pin location is, because sometimes where the pin looks like it is on the green to actually where it's at is deviant. And that's another thing too, the lay of the land. Are you hitting uphill? Are you hitting downhill? Is there wind left to right? It all changes every day. So as much as I want to think I might have a downhill lie on the left side of the rough one day. I might be on the right side fairway in the perfect condition the other day. I might be in a divot. It doesn't. So the whole notepad and writing down shot by shot, it changes every round. So for me, I don't do that. But taking little notes for the greens, absolutely. But again, same thing. I know those greens. So I don't really, that's why I need to go out there and see the condition they're in, because I know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I know where the lay of the land is. I know the type of grass it is. I know where the sun rises. I know where the sun sets. So for me, that tells me enough to know the course.
No, that's super cool, man. I've never played Reflection. Is Reflection Bay the Lake of Las Vegas course?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I have. It was one time, I think for my parents' anniversary or something, we went out to Reflection Bay. But so you've played it 1,000 times. How confident are you in taking home the state title this weekend?
No, dude, it's crazy. As confident as I am, it's just one of those things that I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. You know what I mean? It's 3 days. It's 3 days of 110-degree weather. So may the strong survive. May the strong survive. The course sets up well for me. If for me, it's all about if I can get off the tee and put myself in position, I'll make putts. You know what I mean? I'll do what I need to do. But it's the course. I'm a big fan of hitting the ball left to right off the tee, so a cut or a fade, if you will. And that course is designed for that. So if I can just be confident and get myself off the tee, because I like to hit the ball hard, man. So I like to if I get that confidence going, in the first couple holes, because that first hole is tricky from the back tees. You got a lot of water and bunkers, and it's a weird hole. So I like 3-wood off the first tee. So I really won't know what my driver's like until the second hole. But if I can rip something on the second hole, I think it'll set me up for the rest of the day. But I'm confident, man. I mean, it's a track I love. I love that track. I've played good at it. It's just more for me is going to be a test of the mental. I put together my last few tournaments. I had one win that I wasn't happy with. I was in the final group of a 2-day tournament on day 2 and shit the bed on the 16th hole. So I feel like I'm there. I need to put it together a full tournament. And if I can put together a full tournament of my best golf, I will come home with a W. There's not very many guys that can beat me on my best day 3 days in a row. And if they do, they deserve to win, bro. Because and that's big words coming from me, because I still haven't produced scores that I'm happy with in a tournament. But on my best day, I'm as good as they come. And if I can do that for 3 days, I will come home with a W. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What's the best round you've ever shot at Reflection Bay?
I was thinking about that the other day. My best round ever is a 61. I shot it at Valley High this year, actually. I got to do it in front of my older brother, which was kind of cool. I have a couple 64s. I got a few 65s. I think my best round at Reflection is probably like a 5 under. That's what I boiled it down to the other day. I think a 67 And I think I've done it a few times. I think I've gotten 2, 3, 4, 5 under out there, more than enough. That's what I mean. My confidence level out there is fine. It's not a course that I feel that I can't shoot under at or produce a good score. It has scoreable holes. Mm-hmm. It's got a couple tough par threes, and there is a couple tough shots out there. But all in all, it's a just play smart golf course and score when you can. Like I said, if my driver's on, there's a couple holes that I can make a lot shorter. And if I can make those holes a lot shorter, the second shot really isn't that tough. The second shot's tough when you're hitting it from, 185 back. If I got 135, 140 in, it's a wedge. You know what I mean? So it's excuse me. It's all about, getting off the tee. If I can get myself off the tee at that course, it doesn't play long enough for me that I can't attack it. And that's what I want to be able to do. If I can go out there and hit some bombs and get myself in birdie position on holes that some of the guys aren't really getting themselves in birdie positions on, that's going to be the difference between me and half the field. There's not very many guys that are consistently as long off the tee as I am. And that's what's going to be the difference this weekend is if I can control it and keep it long and make some putts, it's a wrap.
I love it. It's such confidence coming from your mouth right now, man. I can see it right now. And you on Sunday holding up that trophy. How does one follow this tournament?
Shoot me a text. I don't know. They have links. I won't know the link until day of. So that night I'll feed you the link, and you can. With the whole COVID thing, bro, they just don't. The live scoring is something they do every year, but they're trying to keep minimal interaction, right? So there's not only can we not touch flag sticks on cards, things, they don't have the extra workers out there going by and writing down the guy's scores. So the live scoring action of it with SNGA doesn't exist. But there will be tournaments later on in the year that there's links and stuff you can follow. Just this one it's like I said, I could give you a GGID number, but all the guys won't be doing live scoring. They're going to be focused in on the round.
Definitely. Okay, so Reflection Bay this weekend, man. It's my birthday weekend.
Happy birthday,
it's Sunday
bro.
too. It's Sunday too. So it's like fucking.
I'll try to bring you a present for me and you, buddy. We'll drink out of it together. All right.
No, most definitely, man. Last 30 seconds here. I leave to my guest always to shout out anybody. Shout out what you got going on.
Bro, I could shout out a million people. What I really want to do is just shout out, man. We got to I'm trying to make a difference for, like I was telling you, I wasn't raised with money, man. So I want to make golf more affordable for younger generations. We've done a great job of making it more racially accepted and more generationally accepted and more women, men. And for years there was all this, it was a rich white man sport. And I don't want it to be that no more. I don't want that negative context. I want to bring a lot more attention to the game. So I got a few things working, and that's Envision Golf, man. Everybody go follow Envision Golf. That's me. That's my dream. I envision golf being much bigger than it already has, more athletic, more fitness. We've already started that trend. So now I want to make it more accessible to the inner city kids, man, the kids that can't afford those range balls and those coaches and those golf clubs. We got to get help out to all that, man. So I know it was a little more than 30 seconds, but that's what we need.
That was beautiful. I say 30 seconds as a default, but that was fucking beautiful. Envision.
Yeah, man.
I'll make sure I put your link in and everything, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I wish you the best of luck this weekend. I actually got to go. It's my brother's birthday today, so we're about to go to the house and celebrate.
Tell him happy birthday.
I will, big dog. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Good luck.
Appreciate you, man. I'll stay in contact with you over the weekend. I'll let you know how things go, bro. If I shit the bed day one, I'll let you know.
All right, boss. All right, see you, Kyle.
All right, bud.